Chosen one. If darkness calls and nothing appears, you were never on the menu. You flip the table, let it settle. What we'll uncover isn't superstition. Spiritual physics. The spells failed for a reason. Rituals fell apart. Instead of burning, the candles flickered. Pouring goat blood caused nosebleeds. Their nocturnal chanting brought your laughing to mind like an underworld ringtone. Not only were you safe, you were inaccessible. They just realized they cursed someone who doesn't exist in their dimension. Here's reality. Any ritual against a cosmically coded person returns with a grudge. Though they planned your downfall, they just funded your upgrade. Now science confirms this. You emit electromagnetic frequencies that can affect, repel, or absorb energy fields from other persons. What happens when your evolved soul frequency doesn't absorb energy? It reflects it like a polished sun-facing mirror. You're the one that treats curses like Monday. One they tried to bind but got trapped in the loop they made for you. They assumed sage smoke, a chicken bone, and a $9.99 black web spell would kill a celestial fire-forged soul. Popcorn is needed because what they summoned is chasing them. You're shielded and unreachable in this episode. Their rituals and spells became boomerangs. Let's begin. You were more than protected. You were predestined for darkness rejection. Nobody just protected you. You were pre-coded invincible. Before you entered this existence, your soul was encrypted with heavenly software that dark energy can't hack or influence. That's why their rituals failed. Your energy rejects interference, not luck or timing. You spirit can't handle anything outside your frequency. That includes curses, hexes, spells, envy, and mental attacks. All of it bounces off because your soul design prevents illegal downloads. Many believe protection comes from angels or holy oil. Very adorable. The truth is deeper. Auto-delect was programmed into you. Know how some computers are so advanced they can't run viruses? That's you. Except this infection is jealousy, malicious intent, ancestral bondage, manipulation. System errors occur whenever they hook into you. So some of them were depressed after tampering with your energy. Because of that, they saw shadows in their chamber and heard strange things. They burnt themselves by trying to access the wrong frequency. They thought you were vulnerable because you were quiet, nice, or didn't retaliate. You needn't clap back. A spiritual boomerang was preloaded in your soul. When they sent it, they unwittingly set themselves up. Not only were you safe, you had spiritual defenses that no dark worker, however skilled, could override. Your signature was designed to reject darkness. Rather than absorbing poison, you expose it. As they strove to break through, their own intentions punished them, not battling you, battling. They fought the heavenly code that made you unattainable. In battle, they were hopeless. Second, their spells hit you like rubber since you're not in their frequency band. They kept casting spells, curses, and spiritual attacks at you, anticipating chaos to flood you. They didn't realize this. They function at a different frequency than you. This prevented landings. Their energy was furiously swinging in the dark, seeking to hit something that was never there. You live in a world their customs and brains can't grasp. You're not hiding. You're vibrating too high for their low-level methods to detect or touch. So whenever they bound or blocked you, strange things happened. The spell failed. Their lives unraveled. Minds turned against them. Magic wasn't backfiring. Spiritual physics. They were aiming arrows in a gravity-different dimension. Energy sent out of frequency range is lost. Energy returns to its source because it can't disappear. Thus, it always strikes them. They fail and cause their own doom with every move. They thought you were a frequent target. They believed you were energetically similar. You escaped their reach. They didn't realize. Hide doesn't make you unreachable. Your energy field doesn't contain the doorway they want, making you unreachable. Not even the right keys. They keep casting, shouting, stressing, hoping to break through. Their spiritual blueprint no longer includes you. Upgrade to coordinates their rituals don't cover. They sent darkness into an empty room to catch a ghost. You lived undisturbed, unconcerned, and elevated. They thought they were hexing you, but were merely burning out in a spiritual echo chamber. Each spell became louder, more chaotic and sharp, because they never knew who they were fooling with, not because you fought back. You didn't ignore them. You were intentionally inaccessible. Number 3, their rituals fueled an unfathomable loop, making them toxic. Rituals are thought to involve dramatic performances, candles, chanting, moonlight, weird artifacts, and whispering. The truth is that rituals are contracts. They exchange energy. Someone who conducts a ritual to damage offers their spiritual energy as cash. That energy must go. Energy remains when it can't reach its objective. Who is spiritually inaccessible? It must return to sender. Failure sharpens a boomerang, not gently or quietly. That happened when they targeted you. Not all rituals failed, turned poisonous. Because the energy had some place to land, not because the spell was weak. The sole vessel available, the sender, was consumed. They didn't get that. More than protected. Your energy field ignores lesser vibrations. Thus, if you don't absorb injury, someone has poisoned a closed system. They consume their brew. They hated every candle they lighted. Every time they said your name in a dark ritual, they fed a continuous loop. Such loops feed their originator. They deteriorated emotionally, physically, and psychologically because their energy had to do something. It slowly and horribly devoured them with nowhere else to go. They believed they were sending negative energy your way and controlling results. Their ritual can't travel without your help, they didn't realize. Never signed the contract. You never opened the gate. Spiritually, that matters. Became the mirror. They suffered from their own will. Not because you battled, but because their force couldn't reach you. It returned and devoured them. Fourth, you're not their opponent. You're a system-breaking bug. They imagined they were playing spiritual chess. They coordinated their pawns, rituals, timing, and steps. The directions were followed. Midnight burn. Chant this for 9 days. Say your name over a jar, doll, flame. It went well until it didn't. Something unusual happened when they focused on you. System glitch. They couldn't study, trace, or outwit you. You were the unaccounted for code, the mysterious error that violates the formula. Dark rituals and curses aren't only intention-based. They follow particular spiritual laws. Fear, doubt, guilt, trauma, and emotional fragility laws. These energies are open ports for manipulation. If someone like you operates outside that framework, the whole apparatus collapses. Your spirit reacts differently to terror. Your energy absorbs guilt differently. Your foundation has different cracks. You emerged from the fire with unreadable code. You're uncalculable to the dark arts, which scares them more than your strength. Very unexpected. Unpredictability is powerful in spiritual battle. When they tried to tie you, the energy backfired. not because they were weak, but because their system depended on norms you no longer follow. Outgrown the fear matrix. Don't feed them. Deprive them. You broke the engine in a spiritually fuel-dependent world. Miscasting a spell didn't lose the fight. They lost because they targeted someone who no longer follows earthly rules. Not the level-ending boss fight. You're the game glitch. They always crash their program when they come for you. Fifth, your DNA's light signature burns their dark machinery. Spiritual attacks go beyond symbolic gestures, as most people don't comprehend. Frequencies are coded. Casting a spell or performing a ritual programs a vibration. That vibration should resonate with a target weakness, wound, or insecurity and hook in. It acquires access that way. Not random, it's calculated. Energy algorithm. It goes bad for them here. You have unique DNA. Not merely external forces protect you. All of your spiritual nature was improved before birth. Your soul underwent a divine genetic mutation to reorganize its spiritual code. It can't enter your frequency when their ritual tries. It encounters active resistance. Blazing light. A high, clear frequency scrambles darkness, not absorbs it. Their magic melts, not bounces. When it sees your light signature, it unravels. They corrupt their time, energy, and rage-built vibration, like blasting a virus at a solar-powered firewall. It gets blocked and destroys its source. Thus, targeting you makes them sick. That causes mental confusion. Your presence disrupts their rituals. Their tools fail. Their chants resonate. The program they're running wasn't meant to test a soul like yours, so their dreams get darker and more chaotic. Don't battle their gloom. You overwrite. You emit a spiritual code that invalidates theirs simply existing in your real frequency, not because you're trying. Being lucky doesn't make you immune. Your soul's light sequence exposes every dark system it touches, making you immune. You're more than a touchless target. They can't survive your system crash. Sixth, your stillness was misinterpreted as weakness, but you worked from an inaccessible axis. They noticed your silence. You didn't react, flinch, or break down as planned. They assumed the spell was working and you were too weary, afraid, and spiritually immobilized to reply. But they misread everything. It wasn't fearful stillness. It was power. This power doesn't need to be announced because it's not on the same radar as their attacks. They felt you weren't fighting back since you didn't punch back. So how can you fight something that never touches you? Nobody froze you. You were unharmed. They were hurling mud and gloom, but you were so high and safe that their rituals never even touched your system. Your silence wasn't consent. It was from being on an axis they couldn't reach. Not simply calm. You were distant. Your world was ruled from a place they couldn't reach. So you were hazardous to them. Non-engagement, not fury or revenge. No spiraling, reacting, or responding. That blew their strategy open. Every casting was meant to evoke dread, retaliation, and passion. Nothing returned, so their energy had nowhere to land. Then it turned on them. They played spiritual tag when you were off-grid, not even on the field. You didn't feel it when they poked a wound expecting a reaction. Your soul is in a place where their rituals aren't cleared, not because you're immune to pain. Chant, yell, curse, burn. All their efforts become background noise without access. You weren't hiding. You weren't scared. You were barely above battle. They assumed your silence signified defeat. However, It meant they were never close. Number 7. No ghosts defend you. Your spirit should never have been questioned. They thought they were fighting another human with a kind heart, luck, and maybe some guardian spirits. The truth scares them more than they thought. You're not just divinely protected. The heavenly energy is you. You didn't invoke ancestry. You ancestors. You don't trust angels. Remember being one. Their mistake was assuming they were dealing with someone ordinary when they were actually rousing an old presence in modern skin. You've wandered this earth in lost bodies under forgotten skies. You once commanded the forces they now manipulate. They tried to hex a being previously trapped in spiritual planes they scarcely understand. They lighted candles and recited names, unaware that the soul they were targeting ruled their souls. Therefore, nothing works. So their rituals feel frozen when aimed at you, because it's cosmically ignorant and disrespectful. An attempt to spiritually combat a soul of your rank is like a shadow blocking the sun. You trump dark mechanics with your presence. Your aura speaks a language older than their learned spells. Chosen or not, the cosmos protects you, remembers you. Every attack on you ripples that memories. Your command, not your favor. That's why their lives unravel. Thus, mayhem follows their attack on you. They poked a sleeping god. In disguise, they mocked a general. They insulted an old soul who's paid their karmic debt and has clearance, rank, and spiritual immunity. Your forgotten legacy avenged you, not an external force. This legacy thunders in worlds where truth resonates louder than sound. 8. Your soul exists in several dimensions, so they couldn't bind you. They used earthbound instruments, sigils, candles, whispered curses, and physical tokens to trap you because they thought your power was localized. They assumed they could grab you in one place, form, and frequency. They overlooked the fact that your soul has never been limited to this world. Not merely walking in this dimension. You echo many. You are multidimensional and not bound to one plane. They never succeeded because of that. The goal was to trap water using thread. Your original state was not water. You were vapor, mist, ocean, and cloud. No one state defines you. Your consciousness invades unnamed areas. While they cast spells in the third dimension, you're active in the fourth, fifth, and beyond. Dreams are visits, not dreams. Your instincts aren't estimates. It's immortal timeline memory. You're connected to interdimensional light. Therefore, nothing can contain you. Caging what's not yet here. Every ceremony, word, or intention they used to bind you merely addressed a fraction of your being. The rest of you had changed, evolved, and gone on. Their spell may have hit you, but you had already diverted the transmission to a higher frequency. They never had a chance because they were constantly several dimensions behind. Your nature is fluid, expansive, and fractal, yet their magic demands you to be static, protected and spread out. That drives them crazy. Because your power isn't centralized, they can't discover it, braided through light, time, and realms. They'd need to dominate reality to tie you. They can't even control their thoughts. Not only unbindable, your location is unknown. Number 9. The rituals failed because they couldn't utilize your name. They considered mentioning your name innocuous, a word, a vibe, part of the rite. But they didn't know that spiritual names are more than identifiers. They're keys. They're codes. Intentionally speaking a name is like obtaining a spiritual signature. They didn't only overstep when they spoke yours without rank, permission, or clearance. It was spiritual fraud. No ordinary soul, you. Your name resonates beyond this plane. It contains karmic authority, divine contracts, and lifetimes of power. In their ceremonies, they didn't whisper into smoke. They wanted to steal something sacred. In higher realms, this is like crafting a divine signature. Not only does forgery backfire up there, this causes judgment, not the kind they can beg out of or undo with another spell. Talking cosmic prosecution. So their lives fell apart after using your name. Sickness, perplexity, bad luck, emotional spirals. Not generic negative karma. The result: they set off alarms for dimensions they didn't believe in. Because spiritual systems go beyond intention. They lacked authority. They felt they could play God with your energy. You report energy directly to the source. Source has no identity theft jokes. They activated a law they couldn't escape when they sought to channel, bind, or alter your path using your name. Spiritual impersonation is treason. No effort was required, no need to speak. Because it was more than a name, your name defended itself. A living seal. They didn't just cast a spell when they tampered with that seal. They signed a verdict. Number 10. They utilized blood and fire, but you were hidden in an uncontrollable element. Ether. They followed typical dark practice plans. Fire destroyed, water manipulated emotions, earth anchored their aims, and blood sealed the spell. As strong conduits, these substances have always been part of traditional ceremonies. They couldn't explain why all their efforts failed. You're not bound to the 4 classical elements like most souls. You are ether-based. 5th element, the one they can't touch, command, or comprehend entirely. Ether is non-physical, non-tangible. It's hidden. It represents spirit, space, and heavenly intellect. Prophecy, higher perception, and soul presence are there. This renders you invisible to dark practitioners. You don't resonate like their rituals. You don't match their tools' frequency. Because their elements are limited by form, they can light candles, draw sigils, and bleed blood without affecting you. But you are formless. You're not hiding. You're inaccessible. They searched the dark for you, but only saw shadows. In their blind grab, they grasped your hidden power's razor edges. Your energy protects itself in ether, not because you assaulted. No defense needed, no strategy needed. Their map doesn't show it. You're their spellbook's unreadable page. Silence between their shouts, an unseen presence. They believed they were summoning power. They were cutting themselves on a force they were forbidden to approach. Ether dissolves without fighting. It shows. It negates all bad endeavors. Thus, you were unharmed. Not only were you safe, you were dimensional miles away, hidden in the unchangeable. That made you untouchable. Number 11. You follow sovereign law. Their spells fail under your law. You play differently than others. You work under divine sovereignty, while other souls become caught up in karma, energy debts, or occult agreements, contracts written and signed in realms they hardly understand. Not simply a buzzword. This spiritual truth elevates you above any contracts, agreements, and binding forces their spells strive to enforce. They aim to trap you in causality. They believe karma will do the nasty work. They want to bind you with shadow contracts and psychic chains. Soul's constitution trumps that. Free agent in cosmic court. There are no judges above your sovereign decree. The narrow rules they play by may have worked for them, but not in your jurisdiction. The case gets dismissed before it begins. It's like bringing fake neighborhood tribunal papers to a high court. The court throws out the evidence due to lack of authority. They do that every time they try to dominate you. Your authority by being yourself negates their achievement. Eschewing their rituals eliminates their credibility. Your sovereignty implies you make and assess your own laws. Light and shadow contracts don't bind you because you're outside their scope. Your spirit has unalienable authority. Your name, rights, and power are unequivocal before the cosmic court. They waste time devising spells and curses under worldly laws, but your soul's constitution renders them useless and laughable. Their legal documents are spiritual forgeries, and you revoke them. You're the grandmaster revising the rules for checkers. Number 12. They intended to destroy you, unaware that their intent directed your blessings. They tried everything to break you, thinking every bitter remark, cursed ritual, and evil scheme would be the arrow that hit. They didn't realize spiritual intent works differently. Intent goes beyond blind energy. It guides your soul's journey like a celestial GPS. Your soul is wired differently than most people know. It turns hardship inside out and uses it to find your path. They obsessed on ruining you, yet their negativity pointed you to your blessings. Their attacks weren't obstacles. These were markers. Every attempt to bring you down yielded critical data for your next breakthrough. It's like they gave you your success plan in hatred, not some hazy positive thinking cliché. This awful reality about your spirit is inbuilt. Divine design or cosmic necessity has coded you to reverse engineer all negative. The fascination with you made them unknowing builders of your rise. As they tried to break you, your path grew clearer. You grew from the power designed to harm you. People assumed they were hurling stones to break you. Your empire was built on those stones. Their purpose wasn't misguided. Your fate hijacked it. So they see you stronger, wiser, unstoppable. They don't realize they guided you there. They didn't succeed with hate. The GPS kept you on track. Number 13. The more they created, the more your powers awoke. They wanted to break your spirit with their rituals. In reality, the reverse happened. Every spell and evil phrase they spoke added pressure without crushing you. Your strength increased. Your soul built muscle with additional resistance, like primitive weightlifting. Your growth comes from their attempts to weaken you. Every attack was like a resistance band, drawing you tighter, stretching your boundaries, and awakening dormant portions of you. Your soul's quiet, hidden, or undeveloped portions began to strengthen. Their curses that caged you brought out your powers. They didn't realize their attempts to dominate you were your waking ritual. The cruel irony of cursing a chosen one. Reverse their attack. Dark rituals charge your spiritual batteries, not drain it. Every negative thought fuels your fire. You're not weakened. They sharpen and empower you. They wanted your soul broken, but you awakened in real time. Their wrath and evil magic woke you up to your full potential. They made you stronger by pushing harder. Not all rituals failed. They gave you keys to unanticipated power. Next time they try to shadow you, remember this. You're not against their darkness. This spark ignites the fire within. Their attack was never destructive. This was about waking something they never expected. Number 14. They did more than cast spells. They signed their expiration date. They didn't only try to ruin your life with those ceremonies. They were playing with unfathomable forces. They didn't cast charms in vain. They disturbed hallowed divine machinery that maintains the universe's balance. You are untouchable by black magic because of your divine assignment, woven into existence. Interfering with someone like you is dangerous. They didn't comprehend. Spiritual treason. It's like ignoring the cosmic order and tearing reality apart. They were hacking the universe's operating system when they changed your route. Such systems have fail-safes and implications. They suffered chaos, breakdowns, and sudden misfortunes after targeting you. Not petty revenge or chance. It was cosmic correction, restoring order beyond human comprehension. It wasn't the universe being mean to ruin their lives. System recalibrating, corruption removal, and balance restoration. They thought they could fool you without consequence. They underestimated the cost of their conduct. Every ceremony and curse was like a contract with an expiration date that concluded with their own undoing. Their downfall isn't random, the natural consequence of crossing a line they weren't supposed to cross. So while trying to ruin you, they unwittingly set their own death clock. Their spiritual bankruptcy began when they disobeyed a divine mission. Betrayal isn't forgotten or forgiven by the cosmos. It fixes it quickly and effectively. Truth is undisputed. The ceremonies didn't weaken you. They unraveled. Each attempt to control, bind, or destroy you proved your indomitability. You are isolated from them by sovereignty and authority they cannot understand or shatter. Because they challenged a stronger force, their black spells destroyed them. Unreachable, shielded force. This goes beyond survival. It's cosmic victory. They falter in the shadows they sought to cast, but you shine in your destiny, unshaken and indomitable. You were never caught in their traps. You are the timeless mystery, beyond their rights and reach, and sovereign. If you like this message and want to move into your power, subscribe to the channel to never miss the truth that frees you. Enjoy this video to display your strength. Leave a comment to share your story or insights with those that need this great awakening. Unbreakable, unstoppable, and sovereign, we rise above bounds. Bless you.